doing, everybody? Welcome to MTC Park, home at Gartcairn.
Gartcairn we're at today. Police are doing a bit there.
So if you hear any noise,
any bad words, there's no PG and tactics. We keep our language very appropriate for this programme.
do indeed.
Here, we're back. 2 weeks we've been on.
I know, it's been a month now.
Aye, a month because of PG right enough.
Nah, too busy with work, that, too important. So, Gartcairn, founded in 2007 with 2 teams initially, an under-8s team and an under-10s team. Now the club has over 400 kids, a ladies team and a senior team. They joined the juniors in 2015 and they're Airdrie's first junior side in over 70 years. The club have had a couple of famous players as well. Tam McManus, ex-Hibs player.
Tam,
we know Tam.
Yes, Tam supports the show.
Gary, he does indeed. Gary Harkins, ex-Dundee and Partick Thistle. We're going to be joined tonight by assistant manager Scott Mills and Gary Johnstone, the kit man. Going to be a good laugh. We're going to get a wee walk at the park. Maybe get to see the ladies training. So
20s are in there as well.
20s in there as well.
I don't know. What age group are you, boys? What age group are you? 05.
16s. For people that are a bit older, that's under 16s.
05.
So let's get going.
Right, let's get it on the show on the road. Here we are. Here, troops, we're here. NTCP. I think they're part of all the tune. SCP Pong. We've got Scott Mills, Millsy, good personal friend of mine. Gaz Johnson, the best kit man in fucking West of Scotland League football. Brilliant to have you boys.
Lads, we appreciate you being here. Cheers. We're going to get ourselves in, you guys will be walking.
Indigo.
Army,
they've always sorted us out.
Always good.
So what's happening, Millsy?
Mate, just everything's going well. We're just hoping to bounce back, a wee win tomorrow night. That's the aim.
Aye, so this show good next week. So Gartcairn News are playing Glasgow United tomorrow.
Up here, aye.
And so this will be in advance of that. So it'll be next Wednesday. So that'll be the last of the midweek games anyway.
Aye.
Up here, some setup. Look, they've got the 20s in. The ladies team are doing their stuff up there. And that's the 05s.
We'll get a wee walk round and get a bit closer to the action.
Some changes up here because I would always remember when Davy Gregg asked us up for 5 minutes back in the day. Wasn't it, Millsy, when you were there? Millsy was there.
Aye, first time.
We were there, but you guys mind that? We used to be the park here there. Up the back here. So now it's new and improved. Couple of stands here, but it's that Gordon Wilson stand. You get that in, Craig. It's looking good now. People can come watch your games under cover. It always helps. These places have got a cover for the stand and that.
This is my first time up here. It's impressive. It's good, I like it. It's crack having the stands in it. It's really good, and like that says, it's good having the cover. But we'll get a wee look at the ladies team here. Apparently they played the senior team 2 weeks ago in a behind the doors game, beat them 3-1.
The surface as well. What do you think of the surface, boys? Are you a fan
Aye, no,
of the
brilliant.
surface here?
Brilliant, mate.
You know a lot of people like the grass. What do you think, guys?
Mate, it gets dead sticky, that's the only thing on it.
See a bit of water on it, it's actually very good.
System or something.
What about you, Mills?
Try to get Army to invest in
I
one.
think this one went down, what was it, last season, guys?
Aye, just to start season.
So I know it's been for training, you know your game's on every Saturday, barring snow or whatever, so it's good that way, innit?
Angie's are training on it and playing your games, so I always like to know for the boys. It's a wee bit of familiarity, innit?
Mate, I'll tell you front, we're better away from home. And we have been better away from home for years.
We've always said that at Ashfield, mate, that we're
honestly,
better away from home, and it's mad to say that because you want your home park to be your base and your hub, you know what I mean?
Well, see, to be fair with St Peter's now.
There she's here, man, get us on the ball!
Go on, put it. Oh.
Pressure, Cheryl, pressure! Yeah, this way! The manager's going to end up biffing him.
I know.
You know what I mean? Not the first and not the last one to biff him.
Hey, look,
but it's good to see what I love, right, is when you turn up, but and then it is got that, so you've got obviously the first team, then you've got all the young teams. What do you know what age group it goes to in that?
Well, they've got boys and girls all the way down to mini kickers,
2015s, probably the 60s, aye.
So it's brilliant, man. It's
see, the thing is, that's where we were talking off camera about how important the 20s are going to be in future for clubs, and me and Dad are big champions for it. It's what would it?
Get that one there, a goal. There's going to be a goal.
It's
going to be a goal.
Oh, it's good defending it. So having the young teams here, it's good as well. I suppose if you are down here, you get to run a wee eye on the teams and that as well, and see how the boys are going. You'd like to keep an eye on the 20s.
I went to watch our first game against Rossfield. I think they won 3-0. They done well. And I think in every one of our league games we've had at least one of them involved in the squad,
good.
And they've been playing minutes with us as well. So it's, you said it's a bonus for probably not get the benefits for a season or two, but I think everybody will get the benefit.
The thing is, I've said it before, it changes the dynamics. See, when you're everybody's chasing the same players, now when you've got a possible ready-made stream, even if teams go through kind of financial hardship, you're always guaranteed players to
teams will always come in and still try and take your best 20 players at all. It's just the nature of the beast, really, isn't it?
But at least they're not going to take 20 of them, you know what I mean?
I want to think that's us, we're just getting to where it all happens, the dressing rooms and stuff. So, guys, is going to lead us on, alright? Let us see.
Finish on
that, so we'll go away.
Don't worry, guys, we'll keep you right, mate. Just keep you right.
Away dressing room.
I've not been in the away dressing room, if I'm being honest.
Listen, mate. Everyone I've went to, they don't make it too
comfortable. Physio room.
There's the physio room.
That's the busiest room at the club.
Look at that, Greg, come on in, we'll get a look.
Oh, wow. Oh! Ah! Who the fuck was that?
So you can see this is mobbed all the time.
That's a good size physio room, isn't it?
It's decent, mate.
Very good.
You can compare it to the Amanda's office.
We'll get onto that, Millsy, do you know what I mean? But
she's good at it, isn't she?
that just means that it's easier for the players to come in and get a bit of treatment when you make it so inviting. Nice and warm in here and all, you know what I mean? Like PG, you just do your wee guy stuff, you know what I mean? And we'll go to the away dressing room. So, listen, like, Gartcairn, for all the great work they're doing. It's a very, very...
Does Molly sit like that? Just press him in there. If he comes down there...
No, where's it going, guys? Get your wee Sabutio. Get your wee Sabutio, guys.
Flick him.
Ping him. So I'll remember that for my next Ashfield game. A wee game of Sabutio. And here, what about this one, Mills? You stood here.
Post-match press conference.
I thought the boys were different class today. I thought they passed and they moved the ball really well, and they thought we were very good. We were very good for the 3 points. Referee's room, leave him out. We've had a discussion, and I'm not going to say it in camera about the standard of refereeing this season anyway.
I think you said it was shite.
We've experienced. This is there we go in there, and you get, guys.
There you go, Mills, it's your office.
It's 1 in 1 out anyway, so...
We're all COVID times, isn't it?
It is.
Just got your microwave and that, your kettle.
That's it.
Smoke cookers out.
Listen, it was wee Butch that said that doing it beef, it's like...
You don't need it, do you?
You don't need it, man. That's not where the money's made. That's...
There's Amy there. Amy, how was training? You alright, injured?
Hey, kid, on your
injured? Did you go to the physio's room?
And this is us into the home dressing room, which I think is a cracker, to be honest with you.
Nice.
Different class.
Done brilliant. Setting up for the players.
Beautiful setup we've got in here. To be fair, I like.
That's a light. The lighting, we've got lighting it.
We've got light. Light is blue. Oh no, the light is gone.
Ah, right, no, it's still hanging.
Right, who's any player been on you recently? Just tell us, I'll do something to our gear. They'll not know for a couple of weeks for another week anyway.
I'm not touching again because I've got went through it tomorrow night.
No,
I'll do
we
something.
can't have them upset, but as you can see, dead modern. Loving that the clubs now have got these charging bits for phones and all that.
Look at that.
Ah, they're fancy. They're like a pair of... They're a pair of Louboutins with the wee jaggies. Bryson!
Aye.
A Royston boy running about in a pair of them.
Tell you what, they're
You
nice
should be wearing a pair of copas, Bryson, man. A Hill Candy boy. Go fuck yourself, broke a laptop.
Right, let's get ourselves started.
Let's get it set up. Let's get it set up, boys.
Everybody actually has inside you, it's good snug in it, so
It's nice, mate. Very neon.
Right, so...
Last time I was in a room, it was as neon as this.
Don't. Jill might watch this one. Right. So, let's just get straight into it. Wally, how was the helicopter? Oh no! Wally let us down tonight. The gaffer was meant to be here. Fortunately, we've got 2 better guys. Wally, fucking cards marked, honestly.
Yeah, Wally, by the way, want you on that wheel, and I want video evidence. Guys, Millsy have already said they're going to do it, and see if you get that red arse. We're coming up to give you the red arse, my man.
Correct, definitely. So we'll just get toward into it. We'll talk off camera. Millsy was Dax Gaffer at Clyde Pro Youth. So, 2 years used to coaching her. What was it like as a coach?
Listen, that's where it all started back for me and Dad. We've also been pals growing up, and then I went to America with one of our other pals who stayed there and still lives there.
Liv Goldsborough.
And then I came back and Dad was doing a bit of coaching at Clyde, and I was helping a wee local boys club, and he was the same age group, and he said, like come up and help us out, and we took a couple of players and then it just all kicked off there. Some team.
When you say, you are one of these people that when you say co-managers, you're not a fan of co-managers. We actually done like it was like co-managers, the two of us ran it, wasn't it? Me was the manager, it wasn't Mosey was the manager. We ran it together and it worked brilliantly.
Brilliant.
But don't get me wrong, it was with the young boys, so it's easier maybe when you're dealing with adults, it might be a wee bit different. I don't know what you think about that, guys, co-managers, but for us, it was brilliant, man.
What age
Loved
group was
it.
it you was coaching?
We started with under 12s at the time, and then we done, I think we done 13s, 14s, 15s.
And a lot of the boys are still dotted about at different levels, and that's good boys.
There's still boys we coached that are in playing junior and now.
Aye.
You stay in touch with them?
Aye. There's a few.
And you go, we Ryan's at Ashu.
We Ryan McManus is my striker, the now. He's a striker at Ashu.
Gary Campbell's
He couldn't remember me. I always say me McManus.
You're very forgettable.
I was talking to him when he played at Rock at the time, and I noticed him and I was like, alright, me Ryan McManus, how are you doing and that? And he was just looking at me and he was pure like,
hi coach.
Good. And that one you hate it. It's the most embarrassing thing ever. You're like, you don't have a fucking clue who I am. He's like, I'm like that, mate. And he's like, nah, mate. So his old man came to a game, we played Keller a couple of weeks ago, and I says, that wee bastard didn't even know who I was. And he goes, I know. He says, I've kept saying to him, you must remember Ryan and Scott, he's your manager. He goes, oh, I remember Big Mulsey, but I don't remember you.
I co-manager with my boys, you remember the manager?
I didn't remember the bad.
I did say to him, but after that, says, many guys put the earphones down.
The cone technician.
Yeah, here's one, right? No one will do a lie, right? We're doing a shooting drill. It was you, wasn't it? Mulsey, right? Mulsey always says, I'm a player and all that, right? And I was like, Mulsey, you're not a player, so see when we had the under 12s, Mulsey used to always want to, I'll do the demos, that not. So cause Mulsey's brilliant at putting drills out, running training sessions, a brilliant coach, right? So he's setting up this fucking shooting drill, but the first team are playing like Stirling Albion or something in the stadium. So the next minute, Mulsey zings the ball at the wee left mid cuts it back to Mulsey, and Mulsey just does that. Whack me, 18 years out, right? Under 12s were playing me, right? Hits it tap corner, mate. See, as soon as it hit the net, Clyde scored me. The stadium, the stadium, when it was cheering and all that, right? He's fucking buzzing, mate. He's running around the park. Even all the wee guys at 12 with me, Mulsey, I'm not cheering for you, big man. He's running like Alan Shearer. To the corner, but we used to have some they were great boys and we had a great wee team, but we had a good laugh doing it, didn't we?
That's something that's funny. Like, so I coached at when I was at St Mirren, kind of pro youth, and that I coached with the really young wings, and then I coached the Erskine Boys Club and stuff. And that's something I miss because you get the ball, and sometimes if you had to play in a game, you just take the ball by them and that they couldn't get near you. You feel like you're a superstar running by 10-year-olds, and then you kind of.
The boys were good.
Very good. To be fair, I've not been quick enough to run by.
I remember one time I used to. It's not even coaching, it was babysitting when I was 15 or 16. Took the 3 to 5-year-olds at St Mirren when it was old Love Street and used to have the fives pitch. Yeah, that's what it was. I was cheap babysitting for parents, and you had the fives pitch under the stand at Love Street. And I remember the boy who was helping out couldn't make it, so I'm there with like fucking 15 3 to 5-year-olds, myself at 15-year-old. And I remember a parent chiding me because he got to the stage where I couldn't control them. So I got the ball and ran about and they just got chased after me like a big snake. One of the boys is like after it. I think you could have done a bit more than something like that. It's fucking 10 3-year-olds, like you can't control one in the house, never mind 10 here. But enough of that. What's your view on co-managers?
I'm alright with them, mate.
Aye, I'm just leaving.
I'm alright with them. I'm alright, I don't mind a co-manager.
If you're co-manager, guys, because I know obviously, I know you're the kit man down here, and in my opinion, I know how much work you do down here and how serious you take the job, but you've also you've been assistant gaffers and stuff like that, and first team coaches at clubs and all that, so...
Nah, mate, I think a good backroom, Mills will back it up, a good backroom, and I learnt that probably with Davey. Do you know what I mean? Delegation and stuff like that, because I was working a two. But when I came down here, when I came back here with Davey, there was me, Davey, John, you just left, and Big Wally. Do you know what I mean? And it was delegated between the four, so that it wasn't. I was always paranoid about it, like we were on each other's toes, you'll be doing that, and it wasn't that. I know guys who knew that just 2 hours is fine. I don't want any more than that, and I get that as well. But do you know what I mean? A good backroom, what we've got to know, because you run it really well, I know.
No, definitely. We're the opinion, the more the merrier. When we see things that somebody else doesn't notice, you know, it's like, so that's the way we try to work it. Myself, Lloyd, John, Petrie's back and helping as well. So
Petrie is class, mate. Class, mate.
I've heard stories.
Petrie a character, mate. A pure character. What a guy, mate.
See, that's it. We were talking about a while back when with Tony and Branko and doing it Cumnock. Tony was talking about just what you said there, Millsy, about guys see things differently. So I think it was.
He did say that, didn't he?
He
said like Stuart sees opposition and Branko seen
very focused on like
players.
In terms of myself, I focus almost completely on our team when I'm coaching, and it's good where like we have Gav who is good at focusing on kind of other team and seeing stuff, because I'm that focused on he's not doing his job or he's doing this or whatever. And it's good, like you say, you've got to have that balance where you have other, because you know it's like boys doing different things.
That's probably what we've done the last 2 games. I think everybody's watching will be doing minute-ball, no football. You know what I mean? But no, definitely.
That's how now, even I joked after Saturday, our game, in training, Maxie and Riser are now calling me the brain, mate. The brain, because I'm fucking master tactician, mate.
You mean like Pinky in the brain?
That's what I mean when you just talk to me. They're referring to me training as the brain, mate. The brain. And that's fucking scary for Ashfield.
I always thought Maxie was quite an intelligent guy.
Oh, he's very intelligent. He just lets me believe my own shit.
Just tell him that. Rise, I tell him he's a brain. You're a brain, Dad.
Honestly.
So you talking about David Gregg here, because you both worked with him here. You were with him at Blantyre as well, and the Meda.
The Rock,
I started at the Rock.
Davey's not really talking to us now. But how was
mate.
To be fair, he never spoke to me anyway. How was he to work with? Because obviously Dave seems to be very successful.
David was brilliant, man. Started that for me at the Rock. I was just a young guy at the time, and he gave you the freedom to go and try things, put training sessions on, talk to the players. He gave you the freedom to make decisions, help him make decisions. But then Davey's biggest strength is in here, with the players motivating, getting them up for it.
Yeah.
That's so it kind of at that time I felt it was brilliant for me and him, because we were both doing a different side of it, and it was coming together brilliant. So.
As I say, if you know Mulsey gets his buzz, because Mulsey was at Ashfield. He was a coach at Ashfield, and then before Wally's asked him to come here as part of his background team. But Mulsey's buzz is see there on the training part, running sessions, mate. You see it, he comes into his aim, man, his sessions are different class. I've always said that for day one.
What do you do? Do you just solely go on your experience for playing and take bits for coaches and managers, or are you one of the ones that you have kind of like subscriptions on fucking the coaching thing and that, you're on YouTube watching sessions to try and kind of piece things together?
I think everybody flips through Twitter and sees things and watches it and that, but I think most of it just comes from the way I looked at it is always me John, me and John have worked together at Thistle for 5 years now and then up here, is we like to do things that the players like to do. There's no point, we can come up here and say like we're going to do this and show off what we think we know about football, and players will turn themselves come on, shite, you know what I mean? Whereas if players come in after training and they're buzzing and they can get a sweat up and they're all chatting and having a laugh amongst themselves, and you know it's went well in the park. So we just try and make training. Do we enjoy it? Then we put it on. If we don't enjoy it, we won't do it.
How much structure and planning goes into place with, like, obviously working under Willie and stuff, who's played at a really high level? I don't know what he's bringing and doing, but how much structure goes into it? Is it like a Monday and a Thursday or something, that's what we're doing the night, or is it you've got blocks in place and that's what you're going to be doing for a certain period of time?
Again, Wally's good again. He lets me and John crack on with the stuff in the park. He is big on the shape side of it, so he'll work on the formations, he'll work with the players, do the walkthroughs and what we're trying to do. Me and John will hold sessions, and then Petrie, he's into the fitness and flexibility and recovery side of it, so we can now just tailor our sessions. You know, it's like when you're on the phone, you're never at the phone to each other. WhatsApps are gone, phone calls are gone, so it'll be what do we need to work on, what areas do we need to strengthen, and then me and John will knock up a session based off what Wally wants, and then we'll go and try and put it into place.
What were you all about when you were into the coaching game?
I was big on fitness, so I should tell you that. Mate. Do you know, my dating, that was probably a testament to me, is limited. You know what I mean, in terms of coaching, where I was under the impression when in the old second division, the fittest team, just what we spoke about before you came in, fittest teams, and it was something I picked up. You know, we done really well down here, and the boys were all in a good condition. Do you know what I mean? You get that, but you need good players as well.
Aye.
But see in here, and that was one thing I took after Davey, like really took after Davey, see when a good team spirit will get you, 9-10 points a season.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? See boys that run through a wall for one another. And in fairness to Davey, I know you caned him about his long ball game.
I didn't even...
Davey, I know you did, I just like bamming you up.
I loved playing with Davey.
The boys will tell you down here, by the way, that where Gartcairn are now, Davey's put them on the road to that. Because see the first 2 years with Gartcairn, I was in there at the very start and the club stagnated big time. Do you know what I mean? And the club will know, mind me saying that, you know what I mean? They stagnated big time where it was win 3, lose 3, do you know what I mean? And struggling to get out of the second division. Davey came in and they gave Davey time the first year when you came in initially. And it was big changes, it was huge changes of personnel. And then the next year, I mean, Davey's record the year that Royal Albert picked it for the league, I mean, we lost 2 games that season. And it shows you how well Royal Albert done. Do you know what I mean? I think we drew 3 or 4, but that's how good that league was that year. Do you know what I mean? That we lost 2 games that year.
That was some achievement with Izzy and that.
And
It was Izzy and that when they won it.
mate,
Won it with Royal Albert was some achievement.
Do you know what I mean? But what made that probably bittersweet for them is they were here before as well. Do you know what I mean? So there's a wee bit of history with that. But Davey proper got this club going. Do you know what I mean? And then it kicked on because the next year when Davey left for everything to go on, when Jamie came in and I stayed in with Jamie, we only signed 2 or 3 players. It was the same team. And you ask Jamie, do you know what I mean? That I know, and look back on interviews, Davey always refers back to what Davey left him. Do you know what I mean? So I sometimes think Davey's one of the ones, same as Billy Campbell at Campbell's Line, I don't think they get the credit they deserve.
See, for me, and I know that I played with Davey long enough. Davey's, in my opinion, was one of the best managers I played under because the relationship, as Millsy said, that I had with him after part and that and all was brilliant. We Davey would phone you all the time, you know what I mean, and speak to you, and then you, as you say, you'd want to run through a brick wall for him. So, no, I would never want to say anything out of turn about him. I just made a comment based on
backtracking, isn't it?
Aye, basically backtracking. No, but listen, see, at the end of the day, Davey's a top guy, brilliant manager, class him as a good pal. Still call him McGaffer, and that's just pure out of respect for the relationship I got from him. So, if he doesn't talk to me after that, then he can fuck right off.
Before we kind of go into like when you've come into the junior setup, Millsy and yourself guys, how would you compare the club now to when you were both here previously? Because you were here right in the early days. How would you compare it?
Night and day, man. I came out of worked really hard at getting the place up to the standard it's at the now. My first year, we trained in the other Astro, school behind it. You're getting changed in somebody's primary 2 dressing classroom. I mean, the half time you're marking somebody's homework, you know what I mean? And it's out for the game. And then training, you were training, changed in the leisure centre and then back up for training up the hill. But to have a wee base now and a wee place where you can come, everything's organised, everybody looks after it. Brilliant. Can't say highly enough for what I've done here.
See, so obviously this is my this is my first time up here. I was kind of just finishing up playing when Gartcairn came into the league. I've actually been really impressed. I think the dressing room and everything's brilliant.
The dressing room's class, mate.
Even wee touches like that, it's really good. And then I like this, we'll not mention this yet, the wheel, just well not properly mentioned it. Guys, you talk us through this.
So that's the fines. The fine list on the wall, we'll get a wee snapshot of that later. So they get the option, they can either pay their fine or take it to the wheel. So it's just like Wheel of Fortune, so there's all kinds of ones on there. Got a double it, triple it, a couple of doubles, 2 doubles, 2 trebles, 4 get off it, so it's somewhere if you hear it in here, training nights and match nights, honestly.
Again, that's part of the
we're in there by when you can hear them, see when somebody comes in late, it's unreal.
Big Bailey got the train with fancy dress last week and turned up his Olaf.
See the thing is, but right, see as a player, you're taking it to the wheel, aren't you, man?
Oh, big time.
You're not taking it.
Let's take it to the wheel now, right? See if we can get red arse for
right, no, you know what? Dave for Wally, get Wally. This is for Wally's spin. Hopefully we'll get the boys out even before. Red arse! Yes!
Coming for you. Right. So, Millsy, you've moved on to Stonehouse. How did that come about?
Oh, mate, I was only about 22, 23 at the time. I just come back from America and bought the end of my street. I was doing a bit of holiday coach for him. Dougie McDuff was the manager, and I said to him, well, you better come along and help us out with a couple of training sessions, because I knew I was a college kind of coach and I'd been in America doing it. And then ended up staying for the off a season with Dougie. And I think Dougie went up to the Rock or something when Davey was there. And again, just word of mouth asked us to come down. Done a couple of sessions and Davey asked me to stay. And
I think it was me gave you a big break twice, mate.
Was that?
Aye, I said, I got you down to Clyde's, I knew your qualities, but then I'm sure I said to Davey, get Mulsey in, mate. Mulsey's on the money with the training sessions.
I remember the first
night.
night.
I think he's get rid of me, man.
First thing I said to him, I'm coming down.
He's like, get a new goalie. He's like, first thing he done was go, we need to get a new goalie.
The first night that we came down, mate, we trained on the Rock, Red Ash Park at school. And Big Mackie, big striker.
Aye, Big Mackie.
7 feet 8 one. And
I was one time to Mark him, I marked him a few times, that was fucking murder.
So that day a passing drill or something, man, and just couldn't get it right, man. It's like, couldn't run in the wrong direction, or pass the ball in the wrong direction. And I was like, Mackie, what's the matter, man? It's no hard, man. He's like, well, all I've done for fucking 4 years is play Sims and run round the pitch.
Mate, is he the best one he done, mate? The best one he done, he was a postie for a time. And he used to have a post, right, but he used to do my man's street. And he used to look at the name all the time. You see, obviously the name Dekil, it's no from, it wasn't my man's like that to me. I went up for dinner, man, my man's like, see the postman here, he's a big fucking weirdo. He's a big lumpy boy, but he pure stares at me every time he leaves me, right? And I'm going, what does he look like? No, so I'm getting fucking para. This guy out. And then the next, he must have plucked up the courage. He must have been trying for weeks to pluck the courage, and he was giving my mum letters, and he goes, are you Dax, man? You know what I mean? She's like, I couldn't believe the size of him, how timid he was. He was like, are you Dax, man? She's like, aye. He said, I have just. And then I came into training, right? He's like, mate, and take for this, mate, you old man is close to the boy. Turned up and goes, Dak, I didn't expect your man to look like that. I says, what are you getting at here? I don't know where, but you take for that what you want. But,
he's funny that. Mackie's the same age as me, so I grew up playing against him. And I remember the first time I ever played against him. I think I was at Airdrie and we were playing Albion Rovers at Clifton. And he was like, I remember us, you know what it's like, that shitey wee away dressing room and stuff. And it was just pitched away, it was horrible and everything. And we were out onto the park. And we're like, look at the size of this guy, man. All he did, long ball, Big Mackie's not even jumping, just flipping the ball in. But actually, I thought it was a decent.
Still playing in amateur,
Done a really good season for us.
Done a good season for us, eh?
How was it with being so young and getting in with people that were older than you and coaching?
I don't know, it was probably just one of the ones where you probably, if they didn't like what was happening, they would have been quick enough to tell you. So they must have been enjoying it, they must have been happy with what was running, and maybe because we were young and we all knew each other anyway, so maybe a wee bit more allied and like coaching players and stuff like that, so it maybe worked in your favour. So
good part and all.
I get a good laugh from him, because obviously you know it's what everybody at that age is all thinking and doing, you know what I mean? So it's
what is that?
Yeah, here's one for you, right? No one will do a lie, right? That's a true story. I was actually working message Mulsey, but me and Mulsey went out on a Wednesday, wasn't it? Thursday or a Wednesday?
Went to the Rangers game.
Went to a Rangers game together.
Right? It was a Thursday, because I went to
Aye. But it might have been, I'm trying to think, it wasn't a European night, it was a like Dundee United or something. Right, it was a Wednesday or a Thursday or something. So me and Mulsey went out to a Rangers game. But I'm going to town. So it was when play was open. Play was the place to be, right? I know man looked at it. So we walked down, right? So we went down, man. We're in play after the game. These two birds are standing there, man, right? Me and Mulsey, I'm like, man, Mulsey, we're getting about these two birds. We're standing at the barn, and I was like, Mulsey, I just used to love doing it. I was like, see, I'm a football player, right? And Mulsey's like, look at me, but I can't see I'm a football player, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, see, I'm your agent, right? So we're standing in play, right? Talking to these two words, and I'm like, I play for Rangers, I made my debut tonight, and I'm like, what, no? And I was like, I came on for the last 5 minutes, right, and I was like, that's my big agent, and I'm like, wow, you're an agent? He's like, I can do an agent, and that. And
I went up to the bar and said, get you a bottle of champagne in. So I got me and him like a glass of champagne and gave them 2 soda water lines. Mate, was it best? We're going to play, mate, and we're going up.
again, right, there's 2 words there, what is the cheapest shampoo you've got? And he must have said fucking 30 quid or 40 quid or something. He's like, 2 glasses of shampoo, 2 soda water, lighting up, and then the birds were like, ching ching, like, thanks, that's amazing. They were coming in and just show me how it's in. I'm going, oh, that tastes amazing. You've never in, but I think they ditched us, but didn't they? They ditched us before anything could actually happen.
Oh, bro.
When they were saying me, he was my agent and I played for Rangers, mate. They fucking honestly.
Oh, class. We've got a wee story I want to hear about egg roulette.
Off, mate. Egg roulette, man. Egg roulette. Well, you tell the story,
I
mate.
came for a wee after party. I think we were growing up. I went through a wee phase, I don't know what it is, nights out, when I just disappeared and whoever's gaffer and I just ran a bar for nobody's mind.
Ran a bar, mate.
So I don't know. I was going in this house and I was like, fuck it, man, I'm going to go up the stairs and see how long it takes for somebody to find me. And when 3 boys have came in, done the toilet, and I'm sitting in the bar for a bit. He's clocked and then he's come out, he's like, bitch, he's like, what are you doing? It was that same night we came back down and I was like, just to see one of the moods, like, what can you get up to next? And I found 6 eggs in his kitchen. So I started cooking 5 of them, left 1 soft, and out in the garden, and everybody had to pick one and bounce it out of the heat.
Wait, I think that was wee Grimmies who swore in.
The Grimmies?
The wee Grimmies who swore in. I think it, see, that was mad, mate, honestly. We did a game the next day, I think, Ross County away. Covered in eggshells, they held that. Going up to Ross County away. Oh, brilliant, mate, honestly.
Right, guys, we'll talk about your time at Lanark. How was that for you?
Brief, to be honest, just with COVID. I went in with Jamie October, November last year, and inherited a team. We'd done alright. I think we won 2 and drew 1, and then we get shot down. Do you know what I mean? And literally, I think we took training 4 or 5 times, and that was kind of it. And then I kind of made my mind up just with stuff going on outside the football and just with work and stuff that it wasn't really for me anymore. Coaching. Spoke to Jamie about it in sort of April, May, and then ultimately he's left and on it. But I really liked the guys up there. Do you know what I mean? It was a cracking club, a cracking setup, and that it just for whatever reason it didn't work for Jamie there. But honestly, I think if we'd have stayed, we'd have done alright last year.
Do you think, guys, I know, but this will go to Millsy as well. I think it's been hard to get boys gone again after COVID and all that time out, man. It's been hard, isn't it? It's hard to get players to commit, it's hard to get players want to train all the time, it's hard to keep them fit, it's hard.
Everybody's catching up with life and on it.
So it's hard, boys are going, I'm away with my missus, not, and you're going like that. You're raging, but you can't say too much because people have not done it for a year and a half, they're going to go holidays and stuff.
You look at it, the first lockdown came in March, so most people haven't been away for 2 years.
Exactly.
And it is, you're right, you're raging. Like I had it before we played Fanart a few weeks ago. Big Kieran Friel was away. Our centre off was working, and Big Kieran Anderson had been get sent off for a friendly, and we were going to kind of punish him. Wasn't going to play a few games, but we're like, we have to bring him back in. And then on the Wednesdays, Anthony, I'm away for the weekend with my missus, and I literally just walked away from him, and it was only once when I came to this where he's not been away for 2 years.
And we had it against Ardea, and we got a good result, and I missed it through work, but by all accounts we were very good on the day. But Ardea were flying at the time. You're sitting going, for any time we had like 3 boys away, Liverpool, and 2 away with our missus, and boys working and unavailable. So it's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
Definitely, it's just one thing we probably need to deal with for the next whatever 6
I think
months.
so.
I think this year it's not a free hit or anything, but this year's kind of one of the ones you might need to just suck it up for this season, and next season you can start to see what life is, you'd assume, back to normal by then. And if he's had a year to get himself back in it, because it's been difficult. I mean, we've all struggled through, with our teams, and it is pretty hard, and you get pissed off, and I almost take it personally, and you're like, the boys got to go away. He's not been away for 2 years.
And it's mad, like, my missus not saying to me, oh, day something and that, and I'm like, no, football and that. She's going, but we've been not doing it for all that time, and I'm sitting saying, I know, but I can't try and, I miss all games and training through work, but I need to try and be there as much as possible to set an example to the rest of the boys, you know what I mean?
I know, it's hard.
If I'm missing it then, it's no good for the rest of the boys, but it is very difficult because, listen, we all love football, we're 4 football guys that love the game, but at the same time, there's other things in life.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? There's other things in life, family and all that. Family and your loved ones are more important, but it's hard because I'm fucking well. Aye.
And if I think this year it's different. See the fact you can get in dressing rooms now.
That's massive.
See last year, like the brief period I was at Atlanta, I came down to watch you guys a couple of times. See boys getting changed in the pissing rain. Getting in motors.
It's an away day, man. You're doing air shot and you're driving home with your gear on that.
Do you know what I mean? And it was a couple of Melville Clyde last year. That was a horrible day. Do you know what I mean?
It was horrible. Fair play to the players that you should have.
Do you know what I mean? You just get their gear on and got the road, but you can see the difference now, and hopefully, do you know what I mean? It's getting back to some form of normality.
It definitely does make a difference. You look at teams who have maybe brought in quite a few new bodies, and it's hard to build that relationship the boys have normally, because this is where it all happens in the dressing room, where you get your jokes and that, you kind of see what boys are like. I was talking about it yesterday to somebody, actually the Erskine Arts boys, I was in having a wee meeting with them yesterday, and we were talking away, and like, I was one of the ones, I couldn't sit in the dressing room, like, I had to walk up and down, and I wouldn't say a great deal, but I was walking about and I just kind of, that was the way I dealt with it. You get some boys who would just sit there and you know, it's like you get some boys like you, just loud and
I don't want to go into the training part, mate. I want to stay in the dressing room, mate. Because we had 2 young boys in training last night, and it's mad you said that, because 2 young boys, it's like, the young goalie, he's only 17, and then wee Nicky, he got 2 goals on Saturday, so he done really well. He's only 19. And they came into training, stuck their boots on and ran out and wanted to get the balls out, and they were going to ping a ball, and I took them and I says, back in the dressing room, because I want them to be around about the bodies. I don't want, and I know that they want to go out and their enthusiasm, they want to go out and just zing balls about. I totally get that, but it's been a long time out. I want them waiting, and then when they're all there, all the boys together trying to get that bit of camaraderie, because that's big for them as well, because I want the young boys to learn and try and develop in that environment.
The thing is, you're going from a boys' environment to a man's environment where, like you said, you've had every game, you've had at least one of the 20s in. We've had a couple of games where we've brought boys in. And it's different for the boys, and that's where I think it's really good as well. We're having them where you can drip feed them, because they're getting in, well, maybe some of them been at school or whatever, and they're getting in with guys who've got families and mortgages and jobs and all that, and they're talking about kind of adult things. It's good for the boys to be involved in that too. Good for their own personal development, never mind just
that's what
football development.
Well, here in August this year, he said to boys shirt and tie for games, and just because I was trying to make it as professional as I can. But like wee Fraser turned up on Saturday, shirt and ties, like 16, 17. Probably only wears one to school, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's good. It's a good life experience though. Before we kind of came on to Gartcairn now, you were with Davey when he went to Meda. How did you find that spell? Because that was your first big step up. Because obviously you're a really good Blantyre team you were with and stuff. How was it getting into the Meda?
Blantyre was different class. Everything about it, just the group of people we had there, brilliant. And then when we got the opportunity to go to Meda, it was a step up. And I opened up, like, remember the first week we go there, halfway through the season we get Lithgow in the Scottish, doing it at Lithgow. Worked in the training, introduced ourselves with the boys. I think we drew one each at Lithgow, and we met our fans buzzing, man, coming off. Wow, brilliant lads, absolutely amazing. I could had a pint of this in the social club after it, just buzzing. The next week we played in the replay, get beat 2-0, we did walking, we doing a wee turn up to Meda and got lunch and pints, you know what I mean? And then
football, that's mad.
So we just had to go straight away home. We need to go on a game here, do you know what I mean? Meda were, I think they only had about 4 points when we went in. We got them up to 20 odd points. I think we finished third bottom. We took them to the Ayrshire Cup final, got hammered off Beeve, but the end of the next season, I think, kind of wanted to stay for another year, but they wanted to move me kind of back locally and that. But we those times wasn't doing in Ayrshire, it was more up this neck of the woods, so we ended up parting company. But it was for even the short time we were there, it was still a brilliant experience.
I think it's a very good experience, particularly because you're still young in terms of management now.
Right.
But even back then, would you have been in your 30s at that point?
No, 27, 28.
I mean, that's a great experience, so young in your coaching career. What was the pressure like? Because, like, you know, it's like being at clubs where maybe reasonable clubs and stuff where a decent fan base for this level. But what's the pressure like being involved in a coaching staff at a club that expects so much?
I'd probably say that that time you never felt it, but that was probably down to how young I was.
Aye.
I think Davey and I would have probably felt differently. But me probably no wise to the world or whatever yet, wise to that level of football, didn't really feel it. But now, for instance, with Gartcairn, you do, but again a lot of pressure comes to yourself as well, so you definitely the older you get, the more you also see it, that see when you win a game of football, you're not even happy, you're just relieved.
Aye, yeah, I know what you mean. Aye.
That's the way
You're
you
just
feel.
on the next one already, thinking about the next one, aren't you?
So the way I've always been is you train hard all week, you go in the park, see if you go 1-0 in the first minute, I just want to whistle to go.
Oh, I know.
I didn't care about the 90 minutes, you know what I mean? As soon as you're winning, I just want to whistle to go and get on to the next one.
That's something I think that Nani's are particularly good at in terms of coaching, where the highs are so high and the lows are so low. Like me and Dak sometimes we speak to each other most Saturdays after games, and like last week, what game was it?
Mine?
The Renfrew one.
Renfrew.
I text him, so it was during the week, I text him, because normally he'll text me, and I hadn't heard him, I thought, I text him because I knew the score, and I was like, how was it the night? And he says, look, I'm just going to go to my bed, I'll speak to you tomorrow. Yeah, that's that right, neighbours, that's fine. And it's a horrible feeling, like, players, because Nani has understood it,
Players help and all.
no, they definitely did, but the point I'm making is, I didn't understand as a player, it would ruin your Saturday, whatever, and it would be really difficult, but it's not the same as because I don't know, for me I felt like a lot, it all rested on you, and you had put all this time in for sessions being planned, making sure you had everybody there, even daft shit like make sure the steps were all sorted and the equipment was all ready. Your full week was consumed by it. See, when you're playing, you have your group chat and stuff, but you go to your training, you get stuck in, and then you kind of don't worry a massive amount about it. You think about it a lot, but then the Saturday you'll play, and it's kind of, you play the game and you're disappointed or whatever. When you're coaching, it consumes your life.
I tell you why I took it so hard, and why Riza was a big one for me, was seeing Riza. I've been pals with Riza, assistant manager, since we've been 12, 13 years old, and I seen how hurt he was after that, and that hurt me even more, because if I was a player playing for him and Maxie, I'd have gave better. And the hardest thing for me was, it wasn't 90 minutes, it was 45 minutes. For 45 minutes, our boys were outstanding, excellent, and it was the contrast that made it even harder, because I was sitting thinking to myself, things happened in the game, I'm not going into detail about how things happened in the game, but for us to be so good and impressive in a 45-minute spell to then so poor, there was no even in between. It was hard to take, but it is hard. Sat on us for a few days, didn't go away till after Saturday's game, probably.
How personal do you take it? The boys don't mean it to be slight on you, but how personal do you take it?
I feel bad sometimes, especially in the group chats. I mind that I should and all. We either, as soon as the game's done, would send a big message in, dissecting it, which people are like. Same here, we John put in a message on Saturday nights and why. I just blank my phone, man.
Maxie's good at that. Maxie's very good at that, because
I'm straight in on a Saturday.
I think that's the bit. I don't think it's the right way, and that's my personal opinion, because I've been that person that's done the big massive message. But
you mean like into the chat with the lads on that?
No,
I like to get it all with my sister.
In the managers chat, I just think that it's, because you might say things, or it's only in between your managers chat, but you might end up, I don't know.
Everybody's different. I prefer to a Sunday
now. I used to be all in it right for the get-go, and now I'm like, you know what? Because then, see if it's shite, and I'm sitting in the missus' company or the waiting and all that, I then keep thinking about it, but then I go, you know what? I'm not even going to think about it and have my day, and then when I get a wee chance to, I'll go on it the next day. I'm trying to be more mindful in that. That's just for my home life, because I take it bad. And she even said to me, like, you need to stop coming in a bad mood and like that. And now I've said subconsciously now, for her in the weekend, I try my best to put a smile on my face, but it's hard, guys. You know that. You've been in the game a lot longer than what we have.
That's somebody told me years ago. See, at this level, the level we're all at now, your bad days outweigh the good ones. Do you know what I mean? So you need to make the good ones count. Do you know what I mean? If that's
for all the good and success you had,
do you know, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've won things, you've all done well, but when it's not going well, do you know what I mean? It's a lot harder.
It's hard, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, because you've got all that false club to think about, get going again.
It's not that you take it in, and it's women that come in and clean. Do you know what I mean? It's all that, and by the way, that's cliched as anything, but it is. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause everybody looks at you.
We've started the season, guys, 5 wins, 2 draws and a loss. But see, because you've had a draw and a loss back to back, you're sitting and think things are a million times worse than what they actually are, you know what I mean?
40 Mills and 35 goals for and 13 against.
Aye.
See, 30, and then you're sitting when you actually break it down, you're going, we've scored 35 goals. It's impressive, man.
8 games.
Some teams don't even score 35 goals in a season.
You're sitting there
And you're sitting going, but that's exactly it, because we were the same way, even just the one game with Everton. It only took me 2 days later and I was like saying to Rise, and I was going, we've lost one game. Like, no, we've lost 2 in the league, but it's just one game. It was a bad 45 minutes. Let's not overthink it. We just think about the next one now. It's like, there's nothing you can do. At the end of the day, it was just 3 points that we didn't get. It's no
different thing.
Let's just wipe. Let's wipe it away and move on. And don't get me wrong, it took me about Friday to feel like it. But I was like, the next one's the important one. It's a good team can bounce back and has to put.
That's where for this, it's good. We generally talk to managers, assistant managers, and stuff like that. And it's good if any players at our level, or even any level, are watching, to see how we think, because you know what it's like when you played, I know for a fact, because I am horrific for moaning at football, I know for a fact he's a miserable bastard, like, you don't understand how much I want yous to do well and how much time and effort's put in for yous to do well.
Sorry, one for you, we were at the Rock and just out of the blue, 1 year we're trying to get different ideas to mix up a bit, and I was like, today we want to go down to England for a pre-season game. And we, let's do it. So can I emailed our league secretaries, whatever, and a team get back to the AFC Blackpool. So we arranged to play them down there on Saturday, and we met at the Rock, and I think the club just put money in petrol for that, but I think a lot of the boys either booked a night out down there instead, but some of us drove up, so we get down to the game, we played them. Amazing facility, brilliant club, looked after us, they beat us 1-0, great wee day. And this guy comes round at the end of the game, he's like, right lads, I used to rocks for the Gartcairn for Royston and Glasgow, and I'm like, aye mate, he's like I'm Mickey Mellon, see the guy that's at Dundee United manager last year, back down south, he's like, my dad played with him, and I was like reading the local paper and I couldn't believe it when I seen it, he was like, I'm doing, so I had to come in and watch a game. So we went in and got my, one of the warm-up taps and gave him it. And I gave him just how weird football is. 3 days later, he was bringing Fleetwood up to Glasgow for pre-season. He invited us into Science Parks.
That's brilliant.
Joey Barton's playing with him. I think Dave's still got a photo of Joey Barton with a rock tap on, like before the thing behind us. Jamie Vardy's playing with him at the time. All his boys, and he's got us in his session watching it. They played Kilmarnock in a friendly. He's come into the dressing room before it, that's everything we're doing. But saying, the one thing I remember he did is players were moaning, he stopped it and he was like, sorry lads, sorry for wanting to make yous better. Yous can moan at me for wanting me to make yous better, if that makes you feel better. But just shows you that was his philosophy on it as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny, because that's what you want. You always have your selfish thing where you want it to do well for you and so that it looks good for you and feels good for you, because everybody has that in them, but they want to invest for themselves. But ultimately, what you want is aligned, and you want the best for the players. There's boys that you know that are better and they'll move on, and you think, I really want him to move on. I don't want to hold him at this club. He's got so much potential, he's a young player or whatever. And you date so much, you try so hard. Boys don't date to be a dick to you or anything, you're focused on yourself, you know what I mean? It's quite difficult.
I see it people working at Thistle as well, and you see young kids who maybe grew up and they're working hard to get where they are. And then one boy we had signed with Norwich City, and he's playing down under 23s, and he's probably changed his life for him and his family through it, and you're buzzing for them.
Definitely. It's great for that family, boys. But what about now? Gartcairn, we've seen the tour, the facilities are really good, the pitch is great, I think the stands are really impressive. But back to yourself, you were part of the first ever league winning Gartcairn team.
Aye, I said that team done really well. It was 2 promotions in 2 years, do you know what I mean? And I think combined in the 2 seasons, I think we lost 4 or 5 games, which is, you can lose that in a year and win a league, do you know what I mean? It was really good. Again, at the end, that we had a right good bunch. Deco done really well for us. We Sherman moved on and went to Steny. Jamie Leslie's still playing with Albion Rovers and that. We had a group coming through at that time, and we done really well. Again, we just thought at the end of that season I stepped away just with stuff in my personal life, but I thought at that time that was when they were going to go and kick it on. Do you know what I mean? Go into the next, almost like what Darvel done, maybe no as big as what Darvel done it, but I thought we'll go and kick it on. Probably what Planter done, because Planter went up the next year as well. Do you know what I mean? And I thought at that time another couple of players we would have done it, and for whatever reason then COVID kicked in. You know, everything kind of froze. But in fairness to the guys down here, you know, everything stopped, but they've worked really. They get a hard time it, and I think we've all been guilty of giving the guys a hard time it for different things. Do you know what I mean? The demanding, and they just want, just what we've said there, they just want what's best for in here. They want the best team on that park. Do you know what I mean? If you don't win, you know,
that's a good thing.
They want to know why you're not winning.
The good thing about being a club like this is there is an expectation to go and win games and to be challenging for things. So for me personally, I enjoy that because I put the pressure on myself for stuff like that. So it's good being here because you know that you need to be on it, you need to be winning games to football. You know what I mean? So.
Definitely. I mean, you look at this season, you've played, like you said, 8, won 5, drawn 2, lost 1. You've had a couple of really big results, played some of the lower teams. You had that really hard game last week, which will be 2 weeks by the time this is released, against St Cadoc's. How was that pitting yourself against St Cadoc's? Because you looked at the team who have got a wee bit of backing, and so are they. And I think we tipped both you to be at the top 2, didn't we?
Yeah.
How was it coming out against them? And obviously hard losing the amount of goals you did, losing 3-0 that day. How was that?
It's a tough one to take, to be honest. We were looking forward to it. Obviously, the Wednesday before we played the Portland, kind of threw away a wee advantage, which was annoying, maybe in the back of your mind getting into that game. But we always back ourselves. First off was great. I said to the boys, it was actually the first kind of proper game of football we've played this year. The tempo was slow, it was a game of football, both teams were trying to play. And that's no disrespect to the other teams we've played, because they've all got their strengths and weaknesses. And other games have been more direct and 100 mile an hour, and we've had to stand up to that challenge, and we've had to play it sometimes as well. But I enjoyed the game from that point of view, no enjoyed the result. But 3-0, hopefully the next time we play them, if it came down to a decider here or something like that, then we could be a better counter.
How were the boys after the game?
The boys are a bit flat, but that's just to be expected. But last night's training, it was good to get them back in amongst it. That just seems to be a cussing out centre half. We've got 5 signed, 2 in moon boots, 1 injured, 1 pulled out on Saturday in the morning of the game. So we played Dom Fevers in there, who was magnificent, and he comes off injured after 55 minutes. And then we Fraser for the 20s goes in. So I think they kind of know there's been other circumstances, but at the end of the day as well, if you don't create chances of putting the ball in the net, then that's another part of the game we need to work on. But
yeah,
well, that was something we spoke about again before we get set up. Boys been out and not playing for the best part of the year, and then obviously pre-season is what it is, and you get games during pre-season, and it was longer this season than normal seasons would be. If you're looking at a football boys have played the last 5-6 weeks, played so many games that the body's not been used to the intensity that it normally would be used to, and the 7 or 8 weeks of pre-season has not been enough. I don't think that's how we've all experienced it with our teams, where you've had so many bodies missing. I was saying to you earlier where we got a squad of 23 and I think we had 10 missing last week, and you're like, so many niggles, so many boys working, boys not quite where they want to be in terms of like trying to get back into football properly. You know what I mean? It's a hard one to manage. How do you go about managing that? Because guys made a joke about the physio room being the busiest room, busy place at the
I've noticed it the last 2 Mondays, so obviously games take care of themselves, boys get themselves for games and they go and put 100 mile into games, but the last 2 Mondays you've noticed a wee kind of drop off in the training intensity, which is to be expected, but then we decide to try to lift it, but again you think to yourself, should I really be pushing them that hard, because I've got a game in 2 days time again, so you're trying to find that balance. And
it's the last midweek game, this will be out the week after, it's the last midweek game. It's been tough because, as you say, you're expecting a lot of them. I played myself as a goalie and I played 3 games in a week, and I played, obviously being a hater, I felt it, you know what I mean? So just imagine how boys that are maybe playing in the middle of the park, centre half not, and making blocks, and 50-50s and tackles and that. So boys are empty, but I think that's important when you get a good squad. Obviously with the sounds at Gartcairn have had a wee bit unfortunate with injuries. We ourselves, we've had a few boys missing, but early piece our boys have all trained and they've all been there. So personally for us, a couple haven't trained much on the Monday. They've maybe been in and got a rub or done a couple of runs or whatever, but what I'm seeing in all is with clubs, Millsy and Gaz, and that especially Gaz was playing, is like they're putting food and that on for boys on a Monday after football. When we were doing at Butch and all that, they put spreads on for the boys now. Clubs are trying their best to look after players, not meaning look after their welfare, because they've turned up the day, Gaz has got the dressing room all set up for the boys coming for their game tomorrow. Everything's out. There's, as we said, they've put food and that out, so clubs are trying their best. So
Guys even the pizza first,
mate, it's unbelievable.
Look after the troops.
It's it is difficult, right, and it is asking a lot of the body, but I think that's obviously you've just got to manage your squad and you just got to kind of go on with it. I was talking to Tommy doing it Greenock the other week here, and I think he got his ball. He's like, try and pick up as many points as you can during these midweek, Saturday to Wednesday. Pick as many points as you come up, because see when you can settle and get every Saturday and teams can go in and start doing 2 sessions a week, you can start working in shape, you can start working on more things with the boys, then you're not asking as demanding on the legs, so you're asking on a Saturday you get that maybe that wee bit more. I think some teams will flip round, you'll see maybe some teams put wee runs together on that, not because that's just what they're crying out for. So it's good to get
we were training last night and we were doing the small city games session, and Eddie Ferns is like, Millsy, we need to do more of this, man. This is brilliant, we need to do more of this. I was like, Eddie, this will have 4 training sessions in a month, man, mate.
But that's what I'd say to you, is we'd had a very strong start defensively and that, and we've been able to do a lot of work. It's been hard for us with a new side. We've not been able to train properly because we've had to call off a couple of sessions with so many injuries and boys weren't, and boys start to revert back to what they've done before that isn't quite the way we wanted them to play, and it's quite difficult because it's 3 sessions in a month. Normally that's 8 or 10 sessions, you know what I mean, and it really takes away. I think you start to, like you were saying, Dak, you really start to see what teams are really like in 6 weeks' time, where fitness is getting higher but they've got that recovery time.
As coaches, even in a Monday you could beast a wee bit more boy in a Monday, and you've got that recovery and that, you can work on different things.
And you see teams settling down.
That's what I mean, settle.
Starting 11s.
Settle.
I mean, we spoke about getting the same team on the park 5-6 weeks.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? The new, I don't think MD can do it. Do you know what I mean? Because just the amount of games that you look at every team. Do you know what I mean? You go and look at their lineup, you look, because I do your team ones, you look and you think, that's changed, do you know what I mean? And it's no massive changes. But 2 and 3, sometimes you don't change that in a month.
You're talking about 3, that's a 30 year.
No,
that's 30% of your players, you know what I mean?
It's difficult.
You was talking about Tommy and stuff like Greenock. On the league, you look at Canvas Lang, who are absolutely flying now. You get some Canvas.
Tell you what, Billy and that done brilliant.
Very good job,
because they've lost their first game, right, and they've rallied their boys so well, because to then put the run together and beat teams, because they beat us, they've beat some good teams, they've beat Greenock, they've beat Ardee and that, teams that were doing alright, so they've went and done well.
I'll tell you now, by the way, Billy comes like, Billy's a top manager.
Top
manager.
I missed a game against them, but by all accounts, the gaffer and that says he well deserved it, and they were quite.
They've signed really well, they've got experience right down the middle of the team, and have filled it with legs. The wee boy Williamson up front, scoring goals for fun with him at last year, and he's rapid. Do you know what I mean? They've got the big Gemmels back, they've got boy Anson, they signed the boy Ryan Fraser for Shettleston, big experienced player, Tony Stevenson, and then they've got legs all around about them.
A good goalie and all.
That's the games that are important for us now, the games against the teams that are up there, because like you're saying, Cam's line bounced back for 1 defeat, so if they keep going the way they're going, you need to beat them to catch them. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I kind of say to our boys as well when I'm just in about the dressing room. I'm like, don't get bogged down with one bad result. See if you can then go and put 5, 6, 7 on the bounce together. You can easily pull yourself back into it. So it's not. Don't get bogged down with one defeat. It's about how you bounce back. It's about trying to find that momentum. Because based on that, well, boys, mate, I've got a fucking story for you boys. I've got a story, right? A quick one. We've obviously played Dalry a few weeks ago, right? Called Riza is Ryan Kelly, the assistant manager, right? So, Darren Maguire's playing in the middle of the park. I need to get this in because I was winding him up at training. So, Darren Maguire plays in the middle of the park, does very well, it's a good game. We win the game, and I'm in the house that night and I'm walking about on Twitter. And Maxie, Gaffers wrote to Darren Maguire, "You were like a young Ryan Kelly today. Well done, wee man," or something, right? So then the next minute I'm looking and I'm like, Maxie typing on the Ashfield managers chat. Picture? I'm like, the fuck's that picture? I've looked, Darren Maguire's text fucking Maxie going, "Who the fuck's Ryan Kelly?" Maxie's wrote back, "Riza, the assistant manager, you fucking plank." And he's like, "Oh, it's right, he's fucking." I was like, "He's only been in the club for 5 months and he still didn't know who it was." He walked into training and goes, "I can't believe you." He's like, "What? I goes, "Didn't even know the assistant manager's fucking name." He's like, "I just thought it was Riza." I was like,
actually, it's no quite as daft as that, but see a wee Mark Stanley.
aye.
So we were near the Hildegard.
He slaughters all grade of football, mate.
Oh, mate,
Because we interview managers and that.
He asked me.
Mate, we Stan.
So Stan, we're sitting, and I think I was like maybe 2 away from Stan, we always sat in the same place. And we're sitting in Brian Hearn's reading out the team, and I've played with Stan for best part of the season. And it's like, right, number 4, centre half, Mark, number 5, and he goes through. I'm sitting like that, who the fuck's Mark?
Aye.
And Stan's sitting right there, I'm like, who the fuck's Mark? It's like, it's Stan. I was like, I thought his name was Stan. He's like, no, Mark
It's mad,
Stanley.
isn't it? People with nicknames now.
I'll give you one for the Gartcairn. I was just thinking to start that first COVID season, we turned up to play shots and mind the Rangers signed Boy Bassey. So guys get in touch with Boy through the week. It's like, "Got a boy here, want to come in and play games." And it's Bassey's brother, his name's Elvis Bassey, so straight away we meet John. Okay, handsome man. So he came up, he's like, he's wanting to get yourself in short window or whatever, and he's wanting to get match fitness. I go, "Take him along." So in the warm up, I'm like that to John, and Will's like, "So you can get as many Elvis songs into the team talks now."
I know we're calling a crap, lads.
We were doing a passenger, I'm like, "Oh, less conversation." John's like, "It's a bit of one day, I want to check in the heartbreak with you." Needed him, like, on it. Boy lasted 20 minutes, got an elbow off the shots right back, came off, man, never seen it.
Jerry good?
He wasn't great, wasn't he? He's brave, to be fair.
Mate, I'll get a better one for doing here, right? We'd go, we just signed German. You know German?
Oh, wow, German, man.
Mate,
Do you want to go?
Oh,
mate,
I grew up in
Germans.
Recorder.
that fucking
German's
songs on why you're so angry.
Right, so we've signed a goalie. So I got a phone call on the Monday. My missus was pregnant, my first one. So I was going to antenatal class, I couldn't make training the Wednesday. And he says, "I've got you a goalie." I'm not saying who it was, right? "I've got you a goalie, you're really going to like him." And I says, "Who is it?" "He played with Everton." Right, and I'm going, "Fuck, the only goalie I played with Everton was Neville Southall." I'm like, "Fuck, you must be about 60. I says, "Alright." I said, "How's he know what Everton do?" Oh, listen, he didn't get a deal down there and he's come back up, he's not got a club." And I says, "Alright." I'm like, "No chance the fucking boys come for Everton, come to Gartcairn. We're in the 2nd division, right?" I'm like, "Not a chance." So I phoned Big Nizzy, it's at Thornwood now, and I said, "Listen, I'm not there tonight, but there's a goalie coming for Everton." He's like, "Who is it, Neville Southall?" I'm like, "No mate, I've cracked that one day. Apparently it's not Neville Southall." But anyway, he says, "We better tell Scotty the goalie coach." So the goalie coach and all. So I've texted Scotty and said, "Listen, I've got a goalie coming in tonight. He's for Everton." And he's wrote back, "Who is it?" And I says, "Well, I don't think it's MD Famous, mate, but he's coming up tonight. I'll come up at the end of training and we'll see how he is." So never thought anything of it. I've come up to training, we trained on the back park, right? Pissing with rain, it's December, right? Pissing with rain. I've walked up the hill and looked in, and this boy, I kid you not, he's got a pair of trainer socks on, shorts and a t-shirt, right? I was freezing looking at him, and he's cut to bits. His arms are cut, his legs are ripped to bits. So I says to Nizzy, "How's the goalie?" And he's like, "I'll speak to you after training tonight." And I went, "Oh no." So they're doing shooting and this boy's going and getting the balls. He wasn't even in goals, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? So I says to Scotty, how's it going? And he's like, that doesn't matter, mate, I'll speak to you down there. And I thought, okay, hell. So we play a game at the end of training and he didn't want to get in goals clearly because he'd been ripped to bits, right? So we get down and the boys all went into one dressing room and we were in separate. So I says to the laddie, come in and see us before you go. No worries at all. I says, get cleaned up and that before you go, right? Honestly, he came in and he had no skin in his legs. I was like, how do you find it? It was great, thanks very much. I was like, so who is it you played with? Everton? He's like, no, Overton. I'm like, the two of them in the showers, right? And I can hear them hitting the water hose, right? Pissing themselves laughing, I've got this boy. I'm like, alright. He went, I play with Overton. It's a Saturday amateur team. I went, alright, they just come down on Wednesday then. So the boys went out, it's terrible, right? So we've locked the door and we've pissed ourselves laughing. I was like, I need to phone him. So I phoned Army, that's who done it, right? I phoned Army, I was like, that goalkeeper, he's like, how good was he? I was like, who did they play? He's like, Everton. I was like, it was fucking Overton. Oh, the boy made me pain for fucking ages about that.
Did they tell you about the wee French guy turned up false 9? Did I tell you on that? Oh, wow, man. And they always see any guy, right? People get in touch quickly with the Ashfield like, through social media or whatever, or through email, and they've said this guy, so they've got this French boy turned up, man, and he was like a fucking plane engineer, pure clever, wee aggressive, and I was expecting this world to come right. I was a plane engineer, he walked into Sarri Park looking about like, right, and I'm going, this boy was going to be a player, what? So he pulled out these horrible pair of boots, right, and I was talking to him, and Maxine Rise, I always see it coming, I don't know if it's because I look for it and they always say me out to speak to them, so I was going, and you know what it's like, you always change your accent, I go, so who do you play for and all that? And he was playing out, he said, district team and all that, and I was like, yeah. What position do you play? And he was going, false 9. False 9? False 9? I'm going, fucking false 9. I said, here's a bit of advice for you, mate. Do not tell any player in that dressing room that you're a false 9. He walked out, mate, couldn't kick his arse, right? Went in, pinged 2 balls, and the boy started getting up to me going, he's telling us he's a false 9, Dad. Fucking hell, man. Boy was rotten.
It's not fair, but mind me French Willie. How good was he?
French Willie, mate.
He was a good man. French Willie. French guy coming up to Ashfield and fucking dynamite, man.
That's who we thought he'd be thought. If he's anything like me French Willie, he'd be a good player.
Because they're all the same.
He wasn't he?
They're all the same.
I'm telling you, mate, see some of the fucking players, mate. Unbelievable.
Right, before we finish up, what's the hopes for the rest of the season?
So hopes is start off with 3 points tomorrow and then go on a run like Dak's saying, hit 5, 6, 7, and then if you can keep yourself up there, then the run comes, you know, it's what it's like, it's who can handle it the best, who can pick up the points. So we've no change, we want to be up there at the end of the season, we still think we've got a good chance of doing it. The players, a good squad of players, they're doing well, and once it settles down, we hope it's to be right up there at the end of the season.
So you've got the chance, you've still got St Carys again, got Ardere twice, Cambuslang twice, the mighty Greenock twice. Actually, you've still got all the teams where if you're playing well, you could, obviously it can go the other way, you could lose games and it could affect you, but on the other hand you could go and win most of the games and you're denting the teams about you and you're giving yourself a really good chance. So hopefully the Gartcairn can do well apart from the Ashfield, because I love his live at Ashfield. But what I think these lads are doing.
Listen, just for me, brilliant to have Mulsey. Mulsey's been a good pal to me for years and years, and Gaz, top guy, tremendous guy, been brilliant help for the podcast, and a good pal as well, doing brilliant work up here. The treatment that we've had's been different class, and no, I do wish you boys all the best. I really do. I still think Gartcairn will have a very good season, mate. I just think that the right guys, obviously. Hopefully Wally turns up for the next game in charge. So I mean, no, but wish them all the best, and I know a few of the players as well, and I think that especially when we come down or they come down to us, there'll be good games, and cheers boys.
Before we finish up, I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor for the show, McTassos, G-Ross.
Yes, Tass.
Honestly, best grub you can get, but I'm not just saying that, they're unbelievable. Get yourself out of Kelvin Way or the Fort and get yourself a wee G-Ross. See if you've not had one, dynamite. Remember, as always, like the episode, subscribe to the channel, really helps us out. Appreciate it.
Gartcairn, done.
Done.